when you play a game, if you don't have a good game controller, your game experience is going to be ruined. I'm sorry. The PS2, I can't stand the PS2 really because of that controller, so I actually bought a PS2, I own a PS2, I own multiple PS2 games, and I find myself using the emulators to put my disc on my computer and use the emulators and use an Xbox 360 controller or something because I hate the PS2 controller. So in this video, what makes the gaming experience is not only the story and the gameplay, but it's the controller itself. So I'm going to be going over my top 5 favorite controllers. Moving on to number 5. I really did like the Super Nintendo controller. It's my favorite as far as the simplistic retro controllers, pre-99, except for one, which I'll talk about later. I really enjoyed this controller. I found myself just liking it for retro games, and I also felt like I actually used this on my PC for games that didn't have that many buttons. I just found myself plugging my USB Super Nintendo controller in and using it because it's such a simple controller. It works, it's fun, I liked it. Now my top 4, which, of course that's the top 5. Why did I say top 4? But anyways, so number 4, the Wii controller. I know a lot of you are like, dude, get your casualization away from me, or bleh. You picked the Wii controller. With the case thing, I really liked it. I used it for a first-person shooter, GoldenEye, because I really wanted to play that game. It wasn't originally, it wasn't on the other game systems. I used it, and I was really satisfied with it. I found myself just loving that game, even though in some ways it's pretty generic, because of the controller. And I also really did like using it for some games that seemed really gimmicky, like Red Steel 2 and Skyward Sword. And I just liked all the uses they used it for, and they used it well, and it was very accurate, and almost always did it right. And then other times you're like, really? I mean, like...
You know what's truly hardcore? A video game controller with a glowing pink ball on the end of it.
But I like the PlayStation Move controller. I use this controller a lot. I do think that little ball thing at the end is a little stupid, but I like sort of interactive, pointy medium as far as controllers go. I think that those are just satisfying to use. When you're pointing at something, you shoot it, you aim for it, and you actually hit it, and I liked it. It was very accurate. It was very enjoyable to use. I liked it. Now, the top 2. Number 2 is the Xbox One controller. I like this controller a lot. I didn't expect to like it because everybody said how bad it was and how good the PS4 controller was. But this one is very comfortable for my hands. It grips well, all the buttons are good. It doesn't get loose from what everyone else I know that's a heavy gamer. It doesn't get all loose and stuff. And I found myself really liking this controller. I could have wanted it to be a little bigger, but I still really enjoyed this controller. Now, my number 1 favorite controller is the oldest controller probably on the list, other than maybe one more. It is the PC mouse and keyboard. Really, there's nothing beating pointing at the screen with your mouse marker and then using your keyboard. But sometimes I like a mixture of the both. Like maybe I use one hand to control it, like a Atari controller, and then the other one to point at the screen. Maybe that would be cool. That'd be cool. But I really enjoy the PC mouse and keyboard. I don't know why, but for almost any game, whether it's an RPG or a simulator game or a first-person shooter, or an open world game, or when I'm just using the internet or something, I really love using the controller or mouse and keyboard. I like it, it's my favorite. So that's pretty much it. Please tell me your list in the comment section below, and I'll see you in my next video. And thanks for watching.